In a faraway land of golden palaces and endless pride, there once ruled a mighty king, King Virendra. He was wise, powerful, and loved by his people. But hidden beneath his crown was something dangerous: ego. He took pride in his intellect and his judgment and believed no one in his kingdom could ever outsmart him. At his side stood his most trusted man, Minister Raghav, a man of calm wisdom and unmatched intelligence. Whenever the kingdom faced trouble, it was Raghav who always found the way out. But as time passed, jealousy began to grow among the courtiers. Whispers spread through the marble halls. The king listens to Raghav more than anyone else? And slowly, those whispers planted a seed of pride inside the king's heart. One day, during a royal assembly, the king laughed loudly before everyone and said, "Raghav, you are clever indeed, but your son, I doubt he has your wisdom." The court went silent. Raghav bowed respectfully, but the king continued, "Every morning I meet your son in the royal garden. I ask him a simple question: what is more valuable, gold or silver? And every time he says silver." The courtiers laughed. The king leaned back proudly. Imagine a minister's son who doesn't even know that gold is more valuable than silver. The court stood still, his heart heavy with embarrassment. He bowed and left the court quietly, his mind filled with questions. That evening, when the sun dipped behind the domes, Raghav called his son, Aarav. The young man entered, calm, composed, with eyes full of quiet confidence. Raghav asked softly, "My son, every morning you tell the king that silver is more valuable than gold. Why do you say that?" Aarav smiled. "Because, father," he said, "I prefer to be wrong in the right way." Raghav frowned. "What do you mean?" Aarav replied, "Every morning the king offers me 2 coins, one gold, one silver, and says take whichever is more valuable. I take the silver coin and he laughs. Then he leaves, happy, proud and entertained, and I earn 1 silver coin every single day." He opened a small wooden chest. It was filled, shining with silver coins. He looked up and said, "If I take the gold coin even once, the king will never play this game again. His amusement will end, and so will my daily income." He smiled. "People call me foolish because they see what I take, not what I keep." Raghav was speechless. His son, calm, clever and wise beyond his years, had taught him something even the court could not. The next morning, in the royal court, the king couldn't resist teasing Raghav again. "Minister, tell your son that silver isn't always better than gold." But this time, Raghav smiled gently. "Your Majesty, my son knows something that perhaps we don't." The king raised an eyebrow. "Oh, and what is that?" Raghav bowed slightly. "That wisdom isn't always about appearing right. Sometimes it's about understanding what truly matters." The king paused. He laughed it off, but those words stayed with him longer than he expected. A week later, the king disguised himself as a commoner and went into the marketplace to observe his people. There, under a banyan tree, he saw Aarav sitting with a group of poor children, teaching them to read and write, his eyes calm, his voice full of patience. After the lesson, the king approached him and asked, "You spend so much time teaching others. Don't you wish for wealth and luxury?" Aarav smiled. He had recognized the king's voice. "Your Majesty," he said softly, "I already have enough silver to buy what I need. But gold, it cannot buy peace." The king asked, "How can peace matter more than wealth?" Aarav replied, "Because peace lets a man sleep well. Gold can only make him dream." The king stood still. Something deep inside him shifted, quietly but forever. The next day, the king gathered the royal court. He looked around and said, "Yesterday, I met a boy who reminded me of something I had forgotten." The court fell silent. Every day I tested his intelligence by asking him to choose between gold and silver. But in truth, he was testing me, teaching me that greed blinds wisdom. He turned toward Raghav. "Your son isn't foolish. He is wise beyond his years. He saw value not in what shines brighter, but in what lasts longer." The king removed his golden ring and placed it in Aarav's hand. "This gold, is worthless without the silver of patience and humility. Tears filled Raghav's eyes. The court bowed in silence, humbled by a boy's quiet wisdom. From that day onwards, the king changed. He never mocked anyone for seeming simple. He learned to look deeper, to listen more, and to judge less. And people in the kingdom began saying, "Those who chase gold may lose sight of silver, but those who understand silver never run out of gold." Years later, when Aarav became a teacher, he told his students, "Life will always offer you two coins, one of hurry and one of patience. Hurry will make you shine for a moment, but patience will make you glow forever. The day you stop living to impress the world and start living to understand it, that's the day you truly become wise." And that was the day the king learned his greatest lesson.